What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have got a banger of a video for you all, and hopefully it can help you all out in Call of Duty Warzone. So if you play Warzone on PC, you have an Nvidia capture card. I'm going to show you the Nvidia game filters that you need to put on so that your game can look very vibrant, like you saw in the intro of the video. I'm also going to show you some new updated settings that I have been using and I think makes a ton of difference if you are also on a controller. So hopefully this video can help you out. And if it does, make sure that you drop the video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more Call of Duty content from me, please make sure to follow the socials that are down in the description below. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get into the video. And as always, keep shooting straight, sharpshooter out. All right, everyone. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to open up your GeForce Experience app that will be on your PC. And then you need to head over to the settings cogwheel up on the top right. And you need to make sure that you have the in-game overlay checked. Once you have the in-game overlay checked, you will then be able to access the in-game filters and overlays within the game. So let's jump on over to the game and I will give you my updated settings for Call of Duty Warzone. All right, now that we are in Call of Duty Warzone, you can see that the user interface in the main screen kind of looks very dull, looks very bland, not a lot of color. There's just not a lot going on right here. So the Nvidia filters can be accessed if you Alt F3. So if you Alt F3, the game filter overlay pops up on the left side of the screen. You've got 3 different styles that you can choose from. So you can have 3 different overlay setups that you would like to have. So I'm going to go to my first one and I'm going to click one, and you can immediately see the difference that it made on the user interface screen. So now that the interface is up and you can see what filters I use in particular, I'm going to give you the settings for each one of these, and hopefully it helps you out in your game. Now, the way that I have it set up does matter. So when you go to add a filter, you're going to want to add the brightness and contrast first. Then you're going to want to add the details, then the sharpen, and then the color. So color shows up first, but is actually the last filter that you apply. So when you go to the brightness contrast filter, you want to have your exposure at 0, your contrast around 22%, your highlights around 10%, shadows at -11, -100, sorry, and your gamma at 0. Your details tab is going to be sharpen 7%, clarity around 82%, HDR toning and bloom both at 0%. Sharpen, you're going to have your sharpen at around 70%, and I have the ignore film grain at 100%. I know a lot of other streamers and a lot of other content creators kind of hover around like 70 to 80%. I go up to 100%, and I thoroughly enjoy it because you don't get any of that filmy grain look to the texture in the game. And now color. Tint color and tint intensity 0%. Your temperature at -3.5%. And the vibrance around 80%. Now, this is probably the most important highlight for the game because this is where all the color and vibrance really comes from. And then second would probably be the brightness and contrast filter. I like the sharpen filter as well because it does sharpen a lot of things. It just makes the image look a lot better. And the details filter is probably the less used filter, I would say. So it's not a necessity. You really don't have to have the details one in, but I do. And just remember that if you are streaming and using these Nvidia game filters, you're going to want to have a scene set up in your OBS or your Streamlabs where you're using a display capture instead of a game capture. For whatever reason, if you use the game capture on OBS or Streamlabs, the brightness contrast filter and I think the color filter has some sort of glitch in it where on your stream it'll start flickering. You'll get a lot of flickering effect on it, and that's obviously something that you don't want to have on your stream. So make sure you set it up as a display capture. That way you don't get any of that flickering effect going on. So again, here you see that the interface is very bland, no color at all. I apply the game filter and it looks a whole lot better and a lot clearer. Now that I've explained the Nvidia game filter and how to set it up with the in-game overlay, Alt F3, I'm now going to show you my updated settings for Warzone. So for general, I have my brightness set to 52 and my field of view set to 105. Anywhere between 110 and 120, 105 is perfectly fine. Brightness 52. I have my colorblind set to Trianopia. I hear a lot of other people going with Neutronopia. It's up to you. I just like the Trianopia because that's what it fits my eyes better. Hit the colorblind target to both. Make sure you have your mini map shape set to square and for it to rotate. The square gives you a lot more visibility on the mini map than the circle does. All of my graphic settings are pretty much the same from the last video that I saw, and if you haven't seen that video, you can go check that one out as well. I'll go ahead and explain it real quick on this one, but none of these settings have changed. The streaming quality, texture resolution, normal. Texture filter, low. Particle quality, low. Bullet impact, I have it enabled. Tessellation, disabled. All the shadow and lighting set to low or disabled. Post-processing effects, the filmatic strength set at 1. I don't have the DLSS enabled. That is something that I'm going to mess around with and see what it is, because they did just add that with this new update. Depth of field, motion blur, all that kind of stuff disabled. Film grain 0. Dynamic resolution is disabled. Now audio settings, I have my audio set to boost high. A lot of people do boost low because you can hear footsteps a little bit better. I do boost high because I also like to hear, you can still hear footsteps, but I also like to hear bullets. And you can tell where bullets and fighting is coming from a lot better in boost high rather than boost low. Now onto my controller. I do play with a PS5 or a PS4 SCUF controller. I've got the 2 paddles. I use tactical flipped. So instead of the triggers being my fire mechanism, I do the buttons. I feel like that works a lot better for me as well because it flips the melee and sliding, so I can slide with my right stick instead of hitting the B button or using a bumper. And my bumper is set to melee, so if I want to melee someone, I can just hit the bumper and slide with the right stick. My dead zone set to 0.06. I play on a 5.5 sensitivity. That's going to be bumped up because I just feel like it needs to be bumped up for me. ADS low sense 0.75, high zoom 1.0. I use a dynamic and standard aim assist. Obviously, aim sight hold, equipment hold. This is probably one of the most important settings that you need to have is contextual tap on the use reload behavior. Instead of having to hold buttons or hold to reload or anything like that, you just tap it and it'll prioritize the reload first, but you won't have to sit there and hold whatever your use or reload button is to pick up weapons off the ground. Make sure you have your arm plate behavior to apply all. That way you only have to hit the button one time and it'll put as many plates as you need on. And that's it. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to give that a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and comment whether or not these settings helped you or not. Please, I would really like to know if these settings did you any good. If you watched the video, please give it a thumbs up again. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I hope you have a fantastic week and keep shooting straight. Sharpshooter out.